$700 million. It's amazing. And my next guest says that running banks, you don't have to take a bailout. And by the way, his bank is thriving and it's lending. Gold Coast CEO Joe Perri and Cardinal CEO Bernard Kleinberg, they both join us now. And I'm going to start with you, Joe, because it's just absolutely amazing how these banks that didn't take any money, aren't threatening the U.S. economy, aren't killing us with fees, seem to be the ones that are doing the most business with regular people.
Absolutely. Our bank is lending money. We've lent over $10 million in the last couple of months, over $50 million the past year. And what we do is we basically concentrate exclusively on small businesses. Where you have the large banks, that's not their main focus.
But do you make it, we remember the old folksy, maybe we romanticize it a little bit, but the old folksy thing where you can just look the guy in the eye, you've known Joe or Bob for 15 years, and even though the numbers don't add up, he's good for it. Are you able to make those kind of loans, or you still have a process that people have to, sort of make all the parameters?
Well, that's a little bit different now than it was back then. But the process, we do have a process that does that. Only you don't necessarily approve. We developed a process, and small businesses really like it, where they can come in and talk to the president of the bank. In 30 minutes, I will give them an indication on their loan.
Bernard, want to go to you because, again, you guys are having extraordinary success as well. Why? Why are you guys so successful when the big banks continue to struggle?
Well, we are relationship focused, and most of the time you'll see the larger banks, they zero in on the transactions as opposed to the relationships. We'll go into a small business, work with the owner, it doesn't matter what kind of business, and then we have a bank at work program where we'll send in. We actually have deposit officers that go into each of these businesses and work with the individual employees to help them also come over. So pricing comes down when you have a relationship as opposed to a transaction. And it makes it much easier for all the employees to bank in the business. But we have had double-digit loan growth for the last 4 or 5 years, and it has just ripped me apart when I hear on the TV that banks won't lend money, and we're doing double-digit loan growth. One year we were at 20% loan growth, and we're a little bit larger than Joe, but so that means it's even more money being lent out.
But here's the thing, though, Bernard. 2 weeks ago, Bank of America says we're going to lay off another 16,000 people. We're going to cut out mortgage operations. We're going to shut down branches, and it just kind of baffles the mind. Do you have any resentment at all that they can always step up to the federal government, have access to taxpayer money? And by the way, let's not forget that $13 trillion secret fund that the Fed provided for them. Do you have any resentment at all about this?
Well, no, we don't bash the big banks, but please put my phone number up for those good loan officers that are going to get laid off. I would really appreciate it. We are actively hiring, hiring.
Joe, I want to ask you real quick.
And I agree with that, Bernard.
I want to ask you. When the world was falling apart and there was a debate about letting these handful of banks, let's really say it was really like 6 banks, everything else was just a cover-up, letting them go under. And there's thousands of banks in this country. Everyone said if you let them go under, we all go under. But couldn't those thousands of banks beneath them, couldn't they have moved up and stepped in? Not saying it wouldn't have been messy, but couldn't they have stepped in and filled the breach?
Absolutely. What you have is you have like Bernard's bank. Some of the larger banks would have picked up some of the larger companies. Then you have banks like ours where we focus on small business. All the community banks across the country, we have lots of money to lend, and we would have stepped up for that. So in essence, we could have picked up the slack. Yes, a little messy, but it would have worked.
Well, you know what?
I totally agree.
I hope everybody watching remembers this next time, because I'm afraid these big banks, in my mind, are guys, they're scary, they're opaque, they're in trouble. And it's guys like you that keep America running. My hat's off to both of you guys, and we appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.